Yo, this is Crew with Electric Ground, and I'm here with
Richard Samuel, Richard's Art Gallery.
I came all the way from Waco down to Austin to check them out. Got a lot of good things going on. Social media is popping. If y'all was here right now, y'all see he has the definition of art. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I'm wondering when you got started.
Man, it's a crazy story. I'm a football player by trade. I retired from playing ball in 2018. Kind of like dove into my art career. Ended up obtaining a custom clothing business and needed a brick and mortar spot for it. Always wanted an art gallery with like an office upstairs to watch jazz nights.
Yeah.
So found this place on Craigslist, 2021. Yeah, 2021. It's crazy.
Not too far.
Yup. Found this place on Craigslist. Great deal. Opened it up, and maybe about 2 months into it, the city, you start to meet more affluent people in the community, and then they let me know I'm the only black-owned gallery open in the city. I grew up going to Mitchie's here, so I didn't even think nothing of that. And like hearing that made me do research, and I found out I was one of 2 black-owned art galleries in the state of Texas in 2021, and I was like, it kind of changed my individual like career goals to what I was doing with the brick and mortar to like what I could do with the community for it. And when I made that change into like what we were doing, this place just blew up, man.
Blew up because you're kind of like one of one. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And we have some of our best friends of color. They have a black-owned gallery here in town now. There's a couple other entertainment spots like Encore that's open, that's black-owned now. Like it's starting to foster, and we're all doing things with each other and building this community, and it's beautiful.
And that initiated a movement on the support side where people know, hey, look, we can come together and make something new that wasn't here previously.
Right.
Okay. Besides the gallery, I mean, it's filled with a compilation of other artists. Is it majority you? You have anything in here hanging up?
Usually it's always other artists. For the last 2.5 years, it's been nothing but I've just been throwing exhibitions for other artists. Obviously, I would include my work in some of those exhibitions. But a lot of my support staff and the people in the city, they really wanted me to get back to doing art, which is how I got here in the first place. So they were like, please throw a solo exhibit. They convinced me to do it. So this is the product of that. This is my first solo exhibit, and I did it in my own gallery. And it's 250 works of mine, including the fashion pieces to the Letter to You series, to my new book that I released, to my watercolors, everything. It's all in here. It's 250 pieces.
Isn't it crazy how people will request that you put your stuff out there so that way you tell your story?
Yeah.
It's by the crowd will end up demanding it, and that's a beautiful thing.
100%. Because I always felt like it would be pretentious if I threw my own show in my own gallery. Like it don't sit right with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But everybody else was like, nah, forget that, man.
They're calling for it. It's a little different. So.
Right.
And now, what is it that you mainly like to paint? It looks like you got some floral pieces. That's one of your go-tos?
So florals were like my original. So when I first started picking up art, I was drawing comic book characters, and it was great. I loved it. I was always showing my mom. She thought it was awesome. But then I would do flowers a couple times for her request, and she would be like, "Oh, I love this." She'd start hanging it on the wall, and it was almost like, you see gratitude from your parents. I was like, all right, let me just start doing some flowers. I know to make my mom happy. And then I eventually ended up falling in love with doing florals. So right now, I try to be as prolific as I can as an artist. I do murals. These are all acrylic abstracts. I do fashion. Watercolors still my favorite, which I have the big watercolors in the background over there. But I always tie in florals in some way. So like this Letter to You series that we have right here, these abstracts, they deal with like a football background too. So you'll see the X's and O's in there. Like we call plays on the field just like we call plays in life, strategizing how you want to go about things. The hash marks, every athlete knows you always counting everything, your stats, everything. You do the same thing in life. We count down to our next vacation, our next trip, whatever. And then you got the rings inside of them. Those are Sonic rings. You know how Sonic gets hit and his rings fly out? It's an ode to life, you know what I mean? Like, you gon' get smacked. You got to pick your stuff back up and keep going. Obviously, I've dealt with death like everyone else does, so there's always a skull hidden in the back of all of them. And then the floral piece that's in them is the human being blooming throughout the process.
Absolutely.
So that's what that series means right there.
And having art that has a lot of meaning baked into it is something that's profound because they're gonna remember it.
100%.
And
Art should invoke feelings.
It should. And you don't know what feeling it's gonna evoke
Right.
if you don't know the person.
Yeah.
It'd be the one that as they're walking out, they saw that one piece that you probably wasn't getting that much attention for.
Yeah,
It's like your least favorite piece, but for them it changed a lot.
They had that attraction to it. They had that match with it, and that's the beauty of art. You know what I mean? That's why I always encourage. You know, we got a lot of times in especially in the Black culture, we don't really get exposed to going in art galleries and like sitting with the art to like just sit down, look at the piece, read about it, and and see how those feelings evoke. And I encourage everybody to do that. Like when you go into art galleries, just don't go with a certain time limit. Just sit down, read the piece, relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't go when you crunch for time.
Right.
Go there when you can soak it up.
Yeah.
Might as well treat it like a sunset then.
100%.
So besides the art here at this particular venue, you have other things that take place here.
Yep.
Parties, what?
Yeah, so we do a lot here. We have our curated exhibit, or like events that we do for the community. We have like poetry, comedy, jazz nights, art history lectures, figure drawing classes, watercolor classes. A lot of intentional things to foster, like hold space for creative communities here in Austin. And how we do that on the business side is, this is an event venue, so we rent it out a lot. Obviously we have the art for sale, and we have the custom clothing business that kind of gives us a good foundation to be intentional, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And still pay the bills.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
well then, and then that's the opportunity for the community to come together here, just courtesy of you guys.
yeah.
So that's pretty nice. And then just as I was coming through, I was like, man, I wonder where this place is at.
Yeah.
But it's, to me, I'm telling y'all now, sitting in here is like a hidden gem. You know what I mean? Actually, I was debating about where we were gonna do the interview at, because every square foot of this place is like dope, to where we could have just done it in the hallway and it wouldn't been tell me. So as a fresh first impression, you know what I mean? Y'all hearing it from me. I need to come check this place out. Put it on your list if you come down to Austin. So, what would you say is one of the biggest events that you've had here?
Whew, we had Black Future House here during South by Southwest last year. Was absolutely giant. Like, there was Black millionaires here, celebrities. Toby from Houston came through.
Oh, snap.
Anthony Hamilton was here. Spinderella was DJing. It was insane. And then we throw a lot of like block parties here for like our art shows. So we had like a Feel Like Kanye art show. We had J. Cole Kendrick art show. We have Comic-Cons, and those are like huge, or 300, 400 people block parties. They come dressed out. Everybody celebrates that culture. Those are the biggest events that we throw, for sure.
Now I like how you got the spin on it with the Comic-Con, man, because that's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It used to just not be cool to even forward it back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody been sleeping on it.
Right.
Now they know.
We was all on Toonami growing
Come
up.
on
you know
now,
what I mean?
because when that came out, it was a mix-up. It shook the world up.
Right.
Dude, with the spaceship helmet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like, everybody loves Samurai Jack for real. They just ain't admit it.
Samurai Jack was black.
Dog.
He didn't look it, but he was black.
Samurai Jack, the whole vibe of that cartoon, like, changed my opinions on like how cartoons should be.
Yeah.
It came out with like the hip hop intro.
Yeah, it did.
It was gritty. I was like, man.
Right out the gate. Yeah, he was black just like Piccolo. Black. So y'all better look it up. You don't know. So, what do you got coming up though for the spot?
So we got our #1 art show that we do every year, actually, American History. So it's our black art exhibit that we do for Black History Month. We also keep it up during South by Southwest, so those artists can get that exposure. Obviously, we love black culture. Like, America loves black culture. It's if not America's best like commodity right now. You know what I mean? And I want people to love on it. So we didn't call it Black History. We called it American History because we want everybody in the city. Like, especially if you're American, that's your history. Like, come love on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always tell people it's almost like like kind of the business plan is like an Irish bar. Like, you go to an Irish bar anywhere in the world, and you love it. Like you go in there,
Same
you have
energy.
the drinks, like same energy. Everyone goes in there to love on the culture. Like I
Same
want
energy.
Rich's Art Gallery to be that same type of aspect with Black culture.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So we got our American History exhibit coming up. This is the 3rd year of it. This year, we're calling it Elevate. Because obviously everyone that we love and give honor to in the past was once us at one point. And
That's
we
right.
can create that positive, that positive history. So each artist in the show is getting a scholarship, and they're required to do something positive in the community with that scholarship.
Oh yeah. Give back.
You know what I mean? So essentially just making the history that we want to see. So it's like American history, more like a future show almost. Like future history. So
That's gonna be dope. And that's coming up, the date and time for that?
yeah, February 3rd is the opening reception. The exhibit will be up for 2 months. So
Nice. I'm gonna have to swing through.
yeah, come
Swing
through.
through. And anybody who's traveling, y'all swing through, check it out. What we're gonna end up doing is take a tour, so we're gonna get to it.
Let's go.